Massive, perhaps the biggest college football news that I can recall in my entire lifetime. Nick Saban has retired from the Alabama Crimson Tide, hanging it up after an incredible run as the Crimson Tide's head coach, and goes down, frankly, as one of, if not the greatest, college football head coaches to ever do it. Chris Low breaking the news earlier today of ESPN and confirmed by everybody else. So a massive scoop by Low, and one that when I first saw it, I'm like, wait, is that real? Wait a minute, what's going on? Yeah, it was real. He informed the team today that he is hanging it up as the Bama head coach. He has been there since 2007. He won 6 national championships at Alabama alone, plus his great success at LSU, Michigan State. To put it in perspective, how dominant he was at Alabama in his tenure for the Crimson Tide, not including likely 3 to come or 4 to come this year. Nick Saban had 44 first-round picks at Alabama. He had 29 losses, period, with a good amount of those coming in his first year when he was rebuilding the program that had fallen on hard times. Saban's tenure was the greatest that I've ever seen, and maybe you can dial it way, way back and find better. But Saban goes down as truly, I believe, the greatest to do it in the college football ranks. It is a shocking timing loss that we'll get to here in a little bit, a shockingly challenging coach to replace, and a move that it's one of those that when you probably remember 5 years from now, hey, where were you when Nick Saban retired? Like, that's one you'll probably remember, or how'd you find out the news, I think, for most people is they got the alert on their phone and they didn't believe it at all. So give me your one-word reaction to Nick Saban retiring from the Alabama Crimson Tide. This will be today's pinned comment. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, that's fine. Take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know your one-word reaction to Nick Saban calling it a career. Go vote at that pinned comment. Now, Brett McMurphy adding on some other information here that Nick Saban is retiring. So sources told Action Network, first reported by Cloud ESPN. Oregon's Dan Lanning is the expected top target to replace Nick Saban. We will have an entire video later tonight, by the way, on our Bama channel of the top Nick Saban replacements. You won't get a push for that, by the way, so just come back later tonight and refresh it. You'll probably see it anyway. Lanning makes sense. We'll spend some more time on that later. This is not an easy job, though. I have often said before, I don't want to be the guy replacing the guy. I want to be the guy who replaces the guy who replaced the guy. You're going to have to convince people like, hey, do you want to come replace the greatest coach ever? The expectations aren't changing. We still need you to win multiple national championships. You can win 5 titles in 20 years, and you still won't be as good as the guy that came before you. And you will never live up to the previous guy. That's not fun. That's not an easy thing to go do. That is not an easy job to take over. So Alabama correctly is going to aim high for this head coaching job. Why shouldn't they? It's Alabama. Look at all the success they've had in recent years. This is going to be a gig that is going to draw interest. That is at minimum going to get a lot of other college football head coaches paid, by the way. You're going to see a lot of extension news of like, you're our guy. The buyouts are going to go up, or maybe they won't go up that much because this is one of the white whale jobs that is no longer available. But figuring out who you get to replace Nick Saban, is it going to be maybe as easy as Bama might think? So maybe they get a great hire, and if you win a national championship, you do a great job, but you won't be Saban. And that's, you can go down as the greatest coach to ever do it for your current team, or the second greatest or third greatest to do it for Bama. That's tough. And the pressure is going to be immense. Folks, this is why you subscribe to us here at the Alabama Football Report and at Chat Sports, to all of our channels in general. When news happens, we have you guys covered. Hit that sub button for more free Alabama football, college football, YouTube videos. Again, we will have Nick Saban replacements available for you guys here on the show. So make sure you are subscribed, youtube.com/Alabama TV. All right, the breaking news here. I mean, wow. Saban calling it a career. At some point, we knew it was going to happen. It happened here Wednesday evening. I think the last hour of the Paul Feinbaum show got to have the news on it, by the way, which I'm sure Feinbaum enjoyed. We were sitting here in the office, getting ready to do other videos. We had 2 more videos to film today. Those aren't happening now. This is more important. And we sit there, and I go, Chris, Nick Saban's retiring. It's producer Chris, who's an Alabama alum. And he goes, no, he's not. No, he's not. He's not, right? He's not. No, he did. The timing of this, by the way, is kind of wild. Comes 2 days after the national championship for Alabama, or for college football. Bama comes up just short on a last-second loss against Michigan. And Saban goes through all of his coaching search replacement stuff. He was allegedly had met with a replacement potentially for Kevin Silvertide a few days ago, which we broke down on the channel. Had done all the recruiting stuff, all the transport stuff, and convinced some guys to stay and not leave. And then, actually, I am going to retire. Which, by the way, it's Nick Saban. Whenever Nick Saban wanted to retire, it's like, yep, that's fine. He earned it, right? He earned all the praise, all the accolades, all the respect, everything. Everything Nick Saban is getting, he absolutely deserved. So that is not a huge surprise to me in terms of the outpouring of just the amount of wows I saw on the timeline today. How can you blame him there? It was well earned. So who do you think is the next Alabama head coach? There's a lot of routes you guys can go on this one. But go ahead and sound off for me in the comment section right now. I'll hold most of my thoughts for our full in-depth replacements video we'll get to later tonight. But I do think that in the end, this is going to hurt Alabama. How can it not? No matter who you hire, it's downgrade. You can hire one of the other top 5, top 10 coaches out there. It's downgrade. This is a colossal loss for the Crimson Tide. Frankly, on par with Bear Bryant. The Bear Bryant, regression maybe isn't the right word, but the Bear Bryant downfall afterwards. That era in between Bryant and I mean, I guess we could maybe go Stallings in there too, but that's kind of maybe more of a blip on the radar than anything else. Let me put it this way. The Bama dynasty has never been more close to being over. I'm not quite going to say it's over yet. You could have a successful transition period, but the coffin has been ordered. All right, the family's coming in to pay their last respects and everything. It's probably over. It's probably over. And Saban, I do think, goes down as the greatest ever to do it. I think every Bama fan, very much cliche here, I know. Don't be sad it's over, Chris. Be glad it happened, is maybe the route to go on that front. So I think it is a painful loss, I know, but he does go down as the greatest to ever do it as far as I'm concerned. So to the greatest college football coach of all time, especially if you're an Alabama fan watching, spam thanks in the comment section. Because there's no one you could have asked for. There's nothing more you could have asked for than what you got out of Nick Saban in his time at Alabama. You won all these national championships. You had all this great success. Everything went your way. Within reason. You didn't win every single one, right? You were the greatest college football team of the century, frankly. I'll go beyond that, certainly of the decade, if not multiple decades. So spam thanks for me in the comments section.